Well, hello, Young and the Restless Daily Recap fans. Today's daily recap is for Friday, August the 5th, 2022. Supposed to be cliffhanger Friday, but no cliffhanger. But let's dive right into what happened. Not a lot, but there is some type of movement. Well, Nick finally goes to Sharon, and not finally, goodness, first thing in the morning almost. The coffee house is quiet, no customers. She locks the front door because he says, I need to talk to you. There's no customers. She locks the front door, and I'm thinking, but there's a back door. Most people we see come in through that back door. But anyway, okay, that's minor, I guess. So he tells her the whole story. And she is like, typical Victor, he felt he was protecting you. I mean, she understood why he did it. And Nick even understands why Victor did it. It's just now he made things worse. He's like, Vic and I were very forthcoming with Chance. I've told him the truth every time that I saw him. And now I'm going to be, pretty much complicit right there with the crime that my father committed. Well, see, that's what happens, Nick, when you continually go and say, you tell me what happened. You tell me. Now you know, now you're involved. So I bet you wish you didn't know, right? Mm. So he has to now decide what he's going to do because that will now, his father would be arrested for doing what he did. So Sharon pretty much was a great listening ear for him because look, what can you say? What can you say in this situation? It's Nick and Victoria's choice on how to handle it. So Billy comes to see Victoria, and Victoria tells him the whole truth. And he said that he saw Nick at the coffee house before he went out of town, and he told Nick to go check on his sister, which is what exactly happened. So thank goodness for that, right? So he lets her know he supports her, and he's going to be there for the kids. He was going to come by that night, and spend some time with them. And then Nick shows up, and so Billy leaves because they were finished anyway. And Nick and Victoria hug, and because Victoria and the children are staying out at the ranch, which is good. Even though Ashlyn's dead, Victoria's in no headspace right now to be alone, really. In the house where she was pretty much attacked twice, so she's gonna be at the ranch for a minute. Good. And Nicholas asked her, did she run into Victor or had she talked to Victor? And she said no. Victor, she didn't see him that morning. So Nicholas tells her the whole story. He tells her the truth that he really did kill Ashlyn in that living room and what Victor did. And immediately Victoria says, oh, he was just trying to protect us. She knew exactly. She knew exactly how to feel about that, which was, oh, okay, okay, Father, good. Because look, Victoria, this isn't her first go around with the rodeo of removing a body, right? She did that actually from that very home. Oh my goodness, I think we need to move. So Nicholas is just like, he doesn't know how he feels about that. And so I think Nicholas was getting ready to leave, or Victoria was getting ready to walk out the door. I think it was Victoria. And of course, Chance is on the other side of the door. And she's like, how long have you been there? He goes, I just got here. And he's like, is everything okay? No, Chance. I was almost attacked. Well, not almost. I was attacked in my home. I'm still not okay. Okay. Neither is my brother. So don't start making it like we should be okay right now. And that was the cliffhanger. That was the cliffhanger for Friday. But Amanda got news her mother, she got a phone call. So we had a whole bunch of tearful scenes. Her mother, Naya, fell into a coma. Amani is there. Amanda's trembling, and Devon says, "Well, go ahead and go. Go be with your mom." And Nate was giving her some suggestions on things she could do, because studies have showed people in comas can hear. So make her favorite playlist, blah blah blah. And she goes, "Okay, great, great." And then she realized, I don't even know what her favorite songs are. It's like they hadn't gotten that close. So she goes, "But Amani will know. Amani will know." So he gave some more suggestions. And then Devon is like, "Look, and just talk to her. She'll hear your voice." And Devon says, "Take the jet. That'll get you there faster. And, she's going to work remotely for a time. So they're going to have the legal department pretty much pick up the slack here. She's still going to work remotely from there. So they're going to kind of, piece it together." But she goes, "I feel so bad. I'm needed here." He goes, "Look, we will keep this thing moving." He and Nate, which, oh my goodness, is a recipe for disaster. Lily better get home soon. So then it shows Nate in Lily's office, and he's just thinking, just contemplating. He's pretty much staring at the wall, the distant wall that's in front of him. And Elena walks in and she goes, "Hey, hon." And she's like, "I'm just calling to check to see how my contract's going." And he's not even responding to her. So she's like, "Nate?" And she gets his attention and he tells her what happens. And she goes, "Oh, I'm sorry to hear that." And so he goes, he's going to miss, because she and Amanda will be working, Amanda and Elena will be working from Virginia. And he goes, "I'm going to, really miss Amanda around here." And Amani's present, because it came out that, she's his comrade, at work. And Elena's like, "Wait a minute. Like, you guys are that close?" And she goes, "Has she been the one fueling the fire between you and Devon?" And Nate is kind of looking at her like, "Wait, what?" Because Elena is also trying to figure out, how is this happening? They are pretty much on a good vein here. And so they're talking, and Nate ends up saying, "No, all we need to be is concerned that, their mother gets okay. I mean, not their mother gets okay, giving them all the support we need, because you and I know what usually that means, what's really going to happen." And she goes, "Yeah, you're right about that. That Naya is probably going to pass away." So Elena kind of just putting this in her back burner here, because she always knew Amani is after Nate, but she didn't know that Amani's influence in the office over Nate was that strong. So that's going to be really good to get this dynamic. I honestly believe when they come back, Amanda's going to get that contract settled. That's going to put Elena right there in that, corporate environment, and she's going to see Amani in action. So, and of course, Lily's already starting to see it. Amanda has warned her against it. So Amani's days are going to come to an end. I mean, that whole storyline, she found her long lost mother. Her mother's going to pass away. Amani is going to put the last nail in her own little, I don't want to say coffin, because mama's passing away. But what Amani is doing is going to take care of itself. It's just going to bite her in the butt. And Amani's going to end up going back home where she came from. And that whole chapter is going to be out of Amanda's life. That's going to be tidied up in a nice, neat little bow. And that's going to be done. And then we had Chelsea and Abby were talking. Chelsea was there for a meeting and asking about this special avocado toast being put back on the menu. And Chelsea is on, almost like this manic high, because Chelsea has issues. And once she gets fixated on something, it puts her on this state, and she's in this state. Oh, and Abby even sees it like, man, you're pretty fired up. And she goes, yes, yes, I'm so excited about the direction my life is going in, and this and this. And Billy, you see him through the windows getting ready to walk into society. And Billy walks in, and they're there for a meeting. So Abby says, she tells Chelsea, I'm getting ready to get that avocado toast for you. And Billy's like, hey, that sounds good. I'll have one of those too. So they sit down, and Abby brings them coffee. And she's just looking at the way Chelsea is just lit up, fixated on Billy. So now we have Abby noticing that, which is good because, let's see, Abby notices it and someone else noticed it. Was it Chloe or nope, Sally. Sally was the one keying in on it. Abby noticed it. And see, Billy's not going to see it. Oh, Billy's going to be clueless to the whole thing. And eventually, once Lily gets wind of it, no, that's going to be a no-go. And I'm telling you, Billy is not into Chelsea like that. He really is only thinking about this business-wise. Really, Billy is. But it's going to turn into something else, and we'll see. We'll see. Chelsea is going to cross the line, and we'll see how Billy reacts to it, because it'll be his reaction that's either going to put a halt to it, or that's what's going to keep things going and fuel Chase's fire. So the ending was pretty good. It had Chase, Chance meeting Kevin in the park. Now, it's so interesting. They pick these public places that makes you look more obvious than inconspicuous, okay? And Kevin tells him that there was a cigarette butt. The video cameras at the gas station were corrupted, and even the quality was grainy. I mean, they're old. They showed nothing. Didn't show Ashlyn's car. Didn't show anything. But yet he went out more with the footage from traffic cams, and he says it does this, even though it's a little grainy or grainy, it does show that there's more than one person in Ashlyn's car, more than one person, which means my whole thing is what? Instead of laying Ashlyn's dead body down, did they have it propped up against the passenger seat or what? Because why would both security guards be in that car driving? It would only be one driver, should have been. Ashlyn, I'm surprised they didn't have either in his trunk, in plastic, but see, then they're not addressing the blood issue. He was losing a lot of blood. So no matter where they put Ashlyn in that car, even if they wrapped him in plastic, or plastic over his head or an upper body, that blood was still gonna, ooze down and go everywhere, so just his body being found in the crash, it wasn't burnt up. So to me, the blood pattern at all is not going to match. No matter what they did with that body, there will be blood in more places in that car. But we'll see. I mean, this is some of that, the dotting of the I's and crossing of the T's in the crime scene, that even a real crime scene, it would not match. So Kevin is going to look into more footage, for more cameras to see if they can identify the driver, if they can identify how many people were in that car. Was it Ashlyn alone driving? All of that. So Chance is hot on the tail of this because it just does not add up. And now what this is going to do is it's going to put more pressure on Nicholas to lie, and Victoria, which is why after Chance met Kevin here is when he showed up at Newman Enterprises, where Victoria and Nicholas were talking, and they found him outside the door. So we'll see. That gets pretty interesting how they're going to make him really get the answer. keep in mind, Victor is going to call Abby or come to see Abby, pretending he wants to see his grandson. And he's going to pretty much tell Abby, you get a chance to stop looking into this. Because that's what Victor does. You know, it was an accident, free and clear. I don't know why your husband's looking into him, you know, convince him to stop or something. Victor's going to do that. That is Victor. And Abby's going to be like, he's a cop. I can't convince him of anything. My husband is going to do what my husband wants to do. And there's nothing I can do to change that particular situation, Dad, no matter how much you want me to. So that's going to be really, really interesting on how they handle that. But that is going to come to a head, and unfortunately, it is going to put Abby in some sort of a situation with that. So now I'm going to go to comment corners. We do have a couple of comments that I do want to talk about. Let's get right to them. I'm trying to pull them up right now. Let's see, where's my file on my comments? There were just a few good ones. Well, a few comments at all. They're all good. Every comment. I mean, our comments are our comments. Well, no, there could be some bad ones, but I won't let those in. That's the truth. No bad comments. Okay. No comments that I can't say. And trust me, if there are comments that I can't read, I am definitely going to get rid of those comments off of the thread. So, because we still got to keep it clean. You know, it's just like you don't hear any real cursing on soaps. So therefore, me as a recap, I'm not going to either. I mean, there may be a little word slip here and there, but it's like, gosh darn it. Okay, we have a comment from Libby. And Libby says that Devon is completely in the wrong. She feels he's in the wrong where Nate is concerned. He is like acting like he is the only one that makes decisions, just like he's used to being the only one to make decisions and being in control. He said in the first place, he didn't like the idea of giving up control, which he said that. And look, he's showing it. And then it says, why didn't the performer's agent realize that they were double booked? Well, the agents could have had, those performers could have had separate agents. So the agents wouldn't know. I mean, like if you were one performer's agent and I was one performer's agent, I wouldn't have known that this venue's being double booked. Yeah, there may be conflict in time, which I would have gone back to, you know, Chancellor Winters and said, hey, wait, the time slot is, they're saying it's booked already. So yeah, that kind of way they would have found out. But, you know, I think pretty much that was Nate was spearheading that. So, and then Devon was spearheading it on the other end. And then it says, sometimes the writers are stupid. Of course, it was a little crazy moving him from administrator of the hospital, chief of surgery, to CEO in a corporation and expect that to run smoothly. You know, that she put, that's like when a stripper became a businesswoman, really. I mean, you know how long it took Nikki to get refined, which I'm still surprised they are saying Nikki is qualified to be COO of Newman Enterprises. I mean, that's, Victor never would have had that much faith in her to do that. Well, you know, actually when Victor was running it, did he have a COO? You never saw a COO, you never saw another CEO. Victor ran that whole dog and pony show all on his own, didn't he? And then Mary says, Abby, there's a lot that Chance hasn't and doesn't tell you. Get used to it. Yeah, because Abby's asking them questions like, wait a minute, this is supposed to be a simple car crash. Why are you putting so much time in it? As if he could tell her about an open police investigation, Abby. So yeah, get used to that. And then she says, Victoria, please don't confide in Billy. Billy doesn't respect anyone's privacy. Well, that is true. Billy will leak a story. But in this case, remember, it was Victoria going to Billy, spilling beans about Ashlyn and saying, look, I want you to report about this. So in his grinning soul, we'll see if he touches on that at all, because now he and Chelsea are on this kindler, gentler co-hosting, but that's of his regular podcast. The grinning soul has always been a separate persona. So he's always had those two things going. And then she says she's happy that Sharon was there to talk things through with Nick. Yeah. And then she said, tread lightly, Adam. Daddy doesn't play. That's true. Daddy doesn't play, but neither does Adam. Adam is, see, Victoria has Victor's business ruthless savviness. Adam, it has Victor's devious, deadly darkness. That's Adam. Adam is the worst part of Victor. The worst part of Victor. That's Adam. So anyway, that is it for Friday, August the 5th, 2022 on The Young and the Restless. That is it. I think I am going to sometime tomorrow put out my final little bold and beautiful recap, because they've tidied up that whole, reuniting Hayes and Steffi series, and pretty much that's where my interest stops for a while. That is where it stops. I only pick that up when it gets interesting and I see that quick story through and I'm off again. So, but I think I will do that this weekend, kind of wrap that up. So everyone have a phenomenal weekend. I will be back on Monday with more Young and the Restless daily recaps.